Hey, sorry, just had a little coughing fit before I started there. I had a little drink and, to try. Anyway, went down the wrong way. Hello, hi, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Gosh, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now, the world is definitely crazy, of course, getting crazier by the day. But one bit of the world that definitely is crazy is TikTok, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, you may know that I've been sort of experimenting with TikTok. I have over 500 followers on TikTok now, which is great. And, I'm quite enjoying doing a bit of TikTok because it's different. It's just, I like to learn new things. But what I found on TikTok, the more that I look into it, I mean, it is a crazy place. It really is a crazy place. And like this morning, I've just tried to upload a video on TikTok, a video about that I'd uploaded on my YouTube channel, just talking about Alice Aguiar, because one of the Southport victims, because her mum has spoken up about Alice, how she wants Alice to be remembered. A lovely interview that she did that, and I've got to say, it definitely works that the parents have come out and tried to show their daughters as they actually are instead of being defined by what happened to them last year. Because I was smiling all the way through that, reading through that article, making that video. It felt lovely. It feels like these little girls, as I say, are going to be remembered for the characters they are, not for what was done to them, and I'm not mentioning the perpetrator's name ever again. I will never mention it again. I've made that decision. So I uploaded that video to TikTok and they've removed it for violating community guidelines. What? It's like, what community guidelines? So as we'll see in this video, it seems like there's lots of things you can say and do on TikTok that to me should be violating community guidelines, like, interfering in police investigations, telling absolute lies about things, showing violent scenes, all sorts of things that I've seen from TikTokers. But you're not allowed to upload a video that sends a positive message from the parent of a victim who wants people to remember a little girl as she was, not as not as a victim, wants her to be remembered as the personality, the character that she was. So there you go, that's TikTok for you. And you know what? So those other things that I just talked about, they're the smallest violations. I've literally seen all sorts on TikTok. Sometimes you see like animal abuse on there and things, that maybe people think they're reporting animal abuse. Same on YouTube. Anyway, the thing is, I'll never understand these social media giants and what they decide is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. So apparently you can go on TikTok, talk a load of rubbish, interfere in police investigations, lie outright. You can do lots and lots of things and do what this girl that we're going to talk about today did. But you can't put up a nice, respectful video about a mother talking about what happened to her daughter. So, yeah, it's a very strange place. But anyway, it is what it is. I can see why, people are sometimes up in arms about it. But at the end of the day, social media, as I've said many times, it's not going away. The trick is learning to control it, rein it in. There are things you shouldn't be able to be allowed to say on social media. Personally, I agree. You have to show respect always, just because it's social media and we all believe in free speech. But that doesn't mean just saying anything without any evidence to back it up, or without, and not care which families you're hurting or what you're doing. That is not acceptable, is it? So I don't know well, good luck with that. People who've got to make it sort of control it. Or do you just let it run wild and let people make their own minds up? Which is fair enough in a way, but young people do get swayed by it. We might watch a lot of social media and think and make our own minds up at the end, watch this, watch that, at the end make our own minds up. If you're more mature, but, can you do that at 14, 15, 16? Are people swayed by it? Anyway, that's for another video. Because what I'm going to talk about today is this particular TikToker. Let's have a look at her. I think what I'll do is I'll put up the what's the word I'm looking the thumbnail, so that you can see her as she was on TikTok and as she was. I mean, she does look a bit like two different people. That's the difference makeup can do, I suppose. When she made the video on the left-hand side, she was all done up and ready to make a video to talk about what she'd just done. Whereas I think on the right, that must be her mugshot. She doesn't look exactly the same. But anyway, that's who we're going to talk about today. And, there are some crazy people out there, aren't there? And you know what? It's not exclusive to men to do horrible things. Women, unfortunately, like this woman, do horrible things too. And then nowadays, of course, many people document it on social media, on TikTok, on YouTube, etc. They're not the only two, but they're probably the most popular. It's quite scary, really. But anyway, there you go. That's the way it is. That's what we're dealing with. That's life these days. And that's how it is. Okay, so I'm going to say hello to everyone, and then I'm going to get into this story, which I think you'll find interesting and a little bit shocking, I think. And I will be editing this video later on and releasing it as a video in itself. So just to let you know that, so if you see this video come out at some point today or at some point in the future, maybe if you've watched it live, then you'll already know what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so I want to say hello to people watching at home. I'm going to put my banner on, actually. Hello to you lurkers. Hello to you trolley dollies. Hello to you that are a little bit nervous of entering in the chat, but thank you so much for watching. Or if you're watching on replay, crew, thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to anyone who's liked or interacted in any way with my channel. And a special thanks to my members. And I kept thinking yesterday, it was Thursday, tomorrow, today. And of course, it's Wednesday today. So actually, the members live is tomorrow night. I just want to tell you what we're going to be talking about in the members live tomorrow night. So if you decide to join this channel, we have an exclusive members live every Thursday evening. That's the live, but of course you can always catch up on it if you can't make that live. You can catch up with it on replay. And I was looking, I have got so many photos, screenshots from the Nicola Bulley case, and I thought I'm going to go through them, because I'm going to decide what I'm going to delete, now that we're, and see if some of these things that I've screenshot from sort of, almost over, gosh, is it 2 years? I've got lost now with the time. What things are relevant from these screenshots, there'll be social media posts, there's photos, etc. What are still relevant now in view of everything that's happened since? and what aren't. So that's what we'll be looking at in the members live tomorrow evening. Okay, what else? Oh, I also want to say thank you. Apart from my members, I want to say thank you to anyone who has sent a super sticker, PayPal me, sent me a Ko-fi. These things help more than you know, to help sustain my channel, keep it going, make me feel encouraged to carry on making videos at sometimes when it gets a little bit tough, either time wise or just, troll wise or whatever. So thank you so much. Okay, let's see who's in the chat. Say hello to them. Hi, David. I know, I couldn't believe I literally took a quick drink while the introduction was playing. I thought, oh, just wet my whistle, as my dad used to say, and it went down the wrong way, and that was it. I was coughing then. I even thought about cancelling it, but anyway. So hi, David. Hi, Julie. A bit RAF in that pic. Oh well, wait till we have a look at this woman. I think probably a lot of you won't have heard about this case. I've not seen it being reported much in the social media. I just caught it by accident. And sorry, I don't remember hearing it, and I follow the news every day, and I don't remember seeing anything about this case. It's quite a significant case. Do you think I honestly think that the cases that grab the mainstream, because I follow the mainstream media, that's probably where I get most of my information from. I do follow social media as well, of course, but do you think? I think some cases because the victim in this case is a middle-aged man. It's that's why it's not grabbed enough attention, and the perpetrator is, a white blonde woman. I'm sure if it was a Muslim woman or a black woman, or it would have gotten more attention. Things gain attention that the media think that the mainstream media think people will outrage about. And yet do middle-aged men who get murdered by psychotic blonde women not deserve any attention then? It's any victim deserves attention, don't they? Okay, so this girl, let's have a look at her. Where are we going to start? I'm just thinking. I think we'll start with her LinkedIn page. Now, this woman was born, I think, in Andover. Let's have a look at Andover. I don't think it's a very well-known place in the UK. So in the United Kingdom, Andover, what I knew Andover more for was, of course, it was in a very famous book by Agatha Christie, the ABC murders, and the A was Andover. That's the only thing I really know about Andover. But I can see from looking at it on the map, it's actually not that far from London, Reading, where I used to live. And I worked around, when I worked for the Tote bookmakers, I did work around all the race courses around this area. So, I've probably driven quite close to it. I know I've worked in Basingstoke. I've been to the race course at Salisbury, Bath. So I've sort of passed through it sometimes, but I've never been there. I don't know much about it. It's a very small, in relative terms, it's quite small. It's not got a massive population. But yeah, and it's actually not that far from London, is it? Basingstoke, Guildford, Southampton, it's quite a central part of the south of England. The south, would that be southwest, is it? Yeah. Geography is not my thing. But anyway, so this is where this woman was born. Now, I think we'll start off by looking at her LinkedIn page. It just shows you've got to be very careful who you see on like LinkedIn or any social media site. So she is Winter Onyx Swan Miller. Double barrel names, I have a little bit of a don't like them. about it, but I understand why some people might use a double barrel name. They don't want to lose, their parents' surnames or whatever. But apparently, Winter did. Well, she says, and is it true or not? I don't know. She had this terrible childhood, so you think she'd really want to distance herself from her parents. But anyway, she didn't. So this is her name, or her social media name: Winter Onyx Swan Miller. Self-employed dog trainer, dog sitter, and dog walker, seeking networks to further my career within this sector. And she describes herself as living in Nether Wallop. Again, for anyone who doesn't know where Nether Wallop is, let's have a look. So these, I love these sort of, these English names that are like a bit ridiculous, really, to be honest. So, you've got Nether Wallop and Middle Wallop, which are not that far from Andover. And that's where she describes herself as living. You can see the distance from Andover to Nether Wallop. It's only 16 minutes outside Andover. And that's what she puts as where she's from on her LinkedIn profile. Self-employed dog trainer, dog sitter and dog walker, seeking networks to further my career within this sector. Nether Wallop, England, United Kingdom. Now, I wonder if, there'll be people out there that maybe contacted her. I don't know. So she says about herself, I am Winter. Pleased to meet everyone. But she likes to reach out on social media. We'll see that even after, she did the sort of worst thing that you could probably do to someone. She still wanted to put it on her TikTok. I am currently looking for a new job role in the animal sector, particularly with dogs. Now, she loved dogs. That's probably the only good thing she had going for her. She had a dog, which we're going to look at her dog. Unfortunately, the name of the dog is Oblivion, which I think says a lot, doesn't it? I mean, it's not a common name you would think of for your dog, is it? Oblivion. But anyway, she did have a Pomeranian called Oblivion that I do believe she did genuinely love. I have experience in dog handling, dog sitting, dog walking. Also, I have knowledge of different breeds of dog and how to accommodate to their needs. Therefore, I have started breeding my elite dogs after careful and extensive studies. So here is Oblivion. Oblivion, my Pomeranian stud dog. He is my baby boy. He is 5 years old, KC registered, and is adorable. He weighs 3 kilograms and has sired over 10 litters of gorgeous puppies in all. Sorry, I'm not sharing the photo. He is my baby boy. Is 5 years old, KC registered, and is adorable. He weighs 3 kilograms and has sired over 10 litters of gorgeous puppies, all miniature Russian bloodline champions in their generation papers. He is my baby boy. He is treated better than I treat humans. Well, he certainly was better than she treated humans, because we're going to see how she treated humans, and it wasn't very good. So that's Oblivion. And we'll see some of the things she shared, things money can't buy, manners, morals, respect, character, common sense, trust, patience, class, integrity, and love. Classes that should be mandatory in high school, money management, mental health, time management, taxes, self-confidence, self-love, financial literacy, and acts of kindness. All sounds lovely at the moment, doesn't it? She loves dogs. She's sharing all these very nice sort of speak with honesty, speak with sincerity, act with integrity. All looks good, doesn't it? Hi, it's Winter. Yeah, I'm looking for job opportunities in my field. Oh, in any field now. I have my business under management and would like to either learn a new trade or work abroad or even be an apprentice if needed. I'm bored and my talents are going to waste, really. So there you go. That's a post you put on. So her talents were going to waste. Right. Okay. Anyway, it seems like Winter, as I say, she says she didn't have a good childhood. She had a terrible childhood. So she was damaged from her childhood. And maybe she was. I don't know. But, you know, is she just saying that? Was she just saying that to get a better, you know, get more sympathy in court? Who knows? I literally do not know. But the thing is, she did very sadly as well then turn to drugs. She was taking drugs, etc. And then she set up her TikTok account. And, you know, we're going to have a look at this TikTok account. Now, I can play some of the videos, but I have to put the sound down because she does a lot of lip syncing to songs and things like that. But I think just the visuals will tell you more or less what you need to know about Winter. So I don't know if Winter is her real name. I just have no idea. But anyway, hi, Laurie. So let's have a look at her TikTok account. Oops. Oh, it's going to... So here she is. Now you can see, I mean, you know, I mean, I just, you know, people like these sort of crappy TikTok videos. I mean, to me, I just don't see the point in just looking at someone looking into the camera like that and singing Kiss Me Baby or, you know, lip syncing to songs. I just don't get it. No makeup, no eyebrows. This is quite funny. I mean,
what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
So this one is sorry, Oblivion, for your haircut, Pomeranian, Pom, dogs of TikTok, etc. Now, people have put comments on. You can see someone there has put a comment, killed a man over that ugly thing. Because poor Oblivion, what happened with Oblivion? What sort of maybe led up to this terrible thing that she did in the end? Was Oblivion did get stolen at some point, apparently by drug dealers, but she did get him back. And then it seems like a guy that she was seeing at the time, you know, was seeing later on, let Oblivion out by mistake. Well, I'm presuming it was by mistake. She might say that this person let Oblivion out. And so this is what led to the terrible thing that eventually happened. But let's just have a look at some more of her Instagram. So yeah, it's all that, like, look, different hair, wigs, lots of makeup. That doesn't even look, that's not her, is it? Who the hell is that? That isn't even her, surely. Anyway, as I say, I can't go into the videos because they've all got, you know, songs on them. But something that I did want to look at, oh yeah, got stolen but got him back, happy and home. So let's see.
Vivian, are you happy?
So this was in 2023 on the 21st of June when she got him back. Happy hot dog, got my mummy back. Let's have a look at this video.
Is Oblivion happy? Is Mummy's home? He got Mummy back. Yes, because he got stolen. Now he's back. Oblivion, are you happy? Is Oblivion happy? Is Mummy's home? He got Mummy back. Yes, because he got stolen. Now he's back. Oblivion, are you happy?
Well, he didn't get her back for long because she's in prison now, so God knows where Oblivion is. But of course, Pomeranians, they normally have really long hair, don't they? So she's obviously kept his hair Sure, because I mean they are pretty dogs. I think they are nice dogs, but yeah, where's his hair? Anyway, so going back, so some of her videos are quite sort of suggestive, and I don't know if she had an OnlyFans account, but she was definitely talking about it. Now we can see that in the end, Winter Onyx Swan that currently has got 8,780 followers, but I don't know how many followers she had before she did what she did, which was red rummed somebody. I'm not sure if if she had that many before, or if a lot of people have started following her because, of course, now she is sort of pseudo famous. She's infamous now, and she's actually invited people. Hi, Darren. She's actually invited people to contact her on her last TikTok video she made, which we are going to look at. It's not up here on TikTok. It's been released by the police. In fact, I don't think she ever uploaded it to TikTok, her last video. She made a series of videos which the police found on her phone, and the police have released one of those videos. But I do just want to look at her the last video that it's got over 30,000 views. But again, I don't know if that's because of now she's infamous or whether she had that many views before. But how strange, because she is, of course, you can just imagine, really. She's a big fan of Tommy Robinson. Yeah, look, Tommy.
I'm going to probably get banned for this, but can anyone?
Yeah, you didn't get banned for it, but you probably should have been. You don't get banned for saying you like Tommy Robinson, but why does it just not surprise me? She says, Tommy Robinson is a true patriot. Got to get all these Muslims out and this, that, and the other. Funny that, isn't it? And she's a murderer herself. So it's like, and the man she murdered, he was not a Muslim. I don't know what her reason was for murdering him, about her dog, apparently. So, yeah, funny, isn't it? So we need to get rid of all the Muslims, but people like her, she's okay. She's the sort of person that needs deporting in my eyes.
Remember Tommy Robinson, the far right activist, the one that helped so much. Went to the Football Lads Alliance, where Millwall and West Ham were walking side by side at the sprint, because they don't want our country being took over by these Muslims.
No.
Which is happening right now. Yeah. But nobody cares. What the fuck's that all about? Our kids are getting groomed, right? And what's this top man, top boy on Netflix, and everyone thinks it's great to carry knives. Our country is getting raped, and nobody's saying or doing nothing because they're too frightened. But what?
So anyway, just to me, it's just typical delusional, horrible person blaming everything on the Muslims, and then she goes off and murders someone over a dog. But it must be the Muslims' fault, obviously. It's not her fault, is it? Everyone's going around carrying knives, terrible. Nobody cares about it. Nobody's doing anything about it. Oh, I think I'll just stab my boyfriend or whoever he was. It's undetermined whether he was a boyfriend or like a bit of a sugar daddy for her or whatever. Yeah, just typical Tommy Robinson supporter. Sorry, I think it is. And I don't think that Tommy Robinson would be really proud, I would think, of having someone like this as a supporter.
What can I say? I'm just a far right activist. I'm going to probably get banned for this, but can anyone remember Tommy Robinson? The far right activist, the one that
forget him?
Helped so much. Went to the Football Lads Alliance, where Millwall and West Ham were walking side by side at the sprint, because they don't want our country being took over by these Muslims, which is happening right now. But nobody cares. What the fuck's that all about? Our kids are getting groomed, right? And what's this top man, top boy on Netflix, and everyone thinks it's great to carry knives. Our country is getting raped, and nobody's saying or doing nothing because they're too frightened. But what can I say?
Yeah,
I'm
what
just
can
a
you
fucking,
do? Yeah.
I'm just a far out actress.
No, you're not just a far out activist, you're a fucking lunatic, basically, because then you, complaining about knives, you went and murdered your boyfriend or your benefactor, your sugar daddy, or whatever, because you thought he tried to let the dog out. I should have named this video Who Let the Dog Out? I mean, it's just crazy. You know, she's whinging about anyway, never mind. She's obviously not very well, is she? She's obviously on some sort of substances, etc. But yeah, not really a good advert for Tommy Robinson, I would say. So that was her last sort of official TikTok post, 24th of January 2023. Oh, Tommy, can anyone remember Manchester or Rochdale? So as I say, the next video that she actually made, we're going to look at in a minute, but it was never uploaded to TikTok. And it was actually in several parts, and the police have only released part 1, and that's what we're going to look at. Let's see. Let's see. Just got to find it now where I've uploaded it. Right, put some windows down would be a good idea because, there it is. So be prepared. So this is the next video that she made. I think she's got a little bit of Botox going on there. That's another common thing in TikTok I've seen. I think I'm going to have to get some Botox in my forehead because they've all got it. You know, they must look at me and say, oh my God, look at her, that ancient old woman. But I'm only joking because I don't think I'm going to go for Botox. I'm too scared of needles. But yeah, she's definitely got a bit of Botox going on here. As I say, most of the female TikTokers I've watched, they've all got a bit of Botox going on. But hey, there you go. Whatever floats your boat. So she's put on it, this is real. Miss Winter Onyx Swan Miller, Hampshire, England. Google which prison I will be in. Please write to me. I would love it. Now, part 1. So as I said, there are 2 other parts, I think, to this, which the police have not released. I'm not sure why they haven't released them. Maybe they're graphic, because this woman, as she was making this video, she was beside the body of her boyfriend, lover, benefactor, sugar daddy, who she had just brutally murdered. So let's listen to what she's got to say. So she's going to tell us she's been a bad girl.
I think because I've been a bad girl. Are you happy? Is it believing happy? Mommy's home. You got mommy back. Yes, because you got stolen. Now you're back.
So Stuart's body was surrounded. In fact, I think I'm going to turn the music down on here because it'd be music, if anything, that pulls me up on YouTube. Stuart's body was surrounded by notes with confessions written by Swan Miller, who left them as a trail for the pigs to follow. Oh my God! Now look, it is sad. She's obviously high as a kite, as I think BF just said then. She obviously is taking, but you know, at the end of the day, she just brutally murdered somebody. And let's just start it from the beginning again, and we'll stop it as we go along. Oh, that's where I do need it.
Because I've been a bad girl.
Look at her face. I've been a bad girl. She's not bothered. She's not bothered in the least. She's not, oh God, what have I done in this, terrible, I've been in like a drug-induced psychosis or alcohol-induced psychosis. What have I done? She doesn't give a shit. In fact, she's smirking because you know what? She knows that this will bring her attention. These people, they just want attention seekers, and she will. I bet she's been there saying what terrible upbringing she had, etc. She probably didn't have a terrible upbringing, but that's her excuse. I mean, she's loving it. She doesn't look sorry in the least. We're going to have a look at an article in a minute that his wife, an interview that his wife gave, because he was married. I mean, he was wrong to sort of get involved with her. But do you know what? That doesn't mean you have to be murdered. We all do things that are wrong. What does that mean? That we deserve to be stabbed because we've made a mistake or done something wrong? She is loving this, isn't she? Absolutely loving it. But she laughed. So yeah, Winter Swan Miller, 37. So she's 37. I mean, do you know what? She should know a little bit better. She's not an 18-year-old she should know a little bit better. You know that you don't stab people to death. I don't believe that she wouldn't know that. What? And enjoy it. To me, she's looking like it. She reminds me a little bit of, which reminds me of, oh God, what was that woman? One of the very few sort of British serial killer women. I can't remember her name anyway, but it was probably good that I can't remember her name. Who stabbed quite a few men. She reminds me a bit of her, doesn't it? It's like just for the attention. She's just not taking it seriously. She doesn't care what she's done at all. So Oblivion was her therapy dog, apparently. Poor Oblivion.
Oblivion, are you happy? Is Oblivion happy? Is Mummy's home? You got Mummy back? Yes, because you got stolen. Now you're back.
Yeah, talking to that dog like it's. I don't even talk to my dogs. I'm a bit like. Obviously I love my dogs, but I don't talk to them like they're babies. Not like that. I hope I don't. I need to think about that.
Well, hi guys. It's me, Winter, Onyx, ONYX, Swan, S3AN, Miller, MILLER. I'm from the UK and south of the UK. I'm going to be taking a break from TikTok for a bit.
I'm going to be taking a break from TikTok for a bit. Yes, for quite a bit. Probably forever. I'm not sure. We'll have a look in a minute what sentence she got. She probably didn't get a very long sentence. You know what it's like in the UK? She'll get life. She'll have used the excuse she had a terrible childhood. She's got mental health issues. Blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, bloody, blah. And I don't know. I honestly don't know at the moment. I can't remember seeing what sentence she got. I bet she got 20 years. But maybe more. I don't know. But she took a life. And it seems like it was premeditated. I know she's obviously high as a kite. This video was taken just a couple of hours after she murdered. I think what she's done is she's probably murdered him. She's gone off and got all the makeup on and dressed up and everything. Had a shower or whatever because she would have been covered in blood. And she's deliberately come on to make this sort of filtered TikTok deliberately so she looked good. So that's even worse, isn't it? You know, how after murdering someone. Oh, and something she says here to watch out for, which I've noticed with a lot of murderers. Afterwards, they always go and get something to eat. They're starving. She's off to McDonald's in a minute, you know, because she's hungry, because it must take a lot of energy, I suppose, to kill someone. Not only physical energy, but mental energy. She's starving. She's going off to McDonald's while her ex-boyfriend or a boyfriend or whoever he was to her is lying dead.
I think because I've been a bad girl. So I've gave you my name, I've gave you my location. If anyone wants to get in touch with me, just give me a Google search, and I'm sure you'll be able to find out where I am. And if you
Give me a Google search. I'm sure you'll be able to find out where I am if you want to talk to me.
want to write to me, I'll happily write back. I can only explain when the time comes, but I had to do what I did because of my situation.
I had to do what I did because of my, let me think about it a minute, situation.
You probably won't want to speak to me when you find out anyway, but there's more to the story than just one side.
There's more to the story than just one side. Well, do you know what? That's true. There is always more to a story than just one side. But we can't hear the other side because you've murdered the guy. You know, we can't hear his side. I mean, you know, it's looking at her now, and you can see she's sad. She is. It is sad. Of course, it's sad. But you know, she was smirking before, enjoying it. Now it's like, is it hitting her now? I just don't know. I mean, for God's sake. Yeah, Miss Winter Onyx Swanmiller, Hampshire, England. Google which prison I will be in. Please write to me. I would love it.
I just hope that it all goes well, really.
I hope it all goes well, really.
At the moment, I feel sick.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that I've done a bad thing at all.
Oh, she's smiling again. So she said, at the moment, I feel sick, but I don't feel like I've done a bad thing at all. Smirk. And in a minute, she's going to tell us that she's going off to get McDonald's breakfast. So she can't feel that sick, can she?
It's nearly 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm starving. So
you felt sick?
I got him back. He got stolen by some drug addicts, my therapy dog. So I got him back. But there you go. But I'm hungry, so I'm going to go for a McDonald's breakfast.
So I thought she was sick, but no, she was hungry. You know, she's just horrible, isn't she, really? I'm trying to feel sorry for her, but I don't feel sorry for her at all.
Nip into Tesco's, buy him a new lead. And yeah, if you want to get in touch with me, like I said, just Google me, Winter Onyx Swanmiller, south of England, and I'm sure it'll pop up. But there's always two sides to every story, and I'm no sweet dream, but I have all I know.
Yeah, she said, I'm no sweet dream, but she said something about how she's a good night to be with her. So, like, they were having some sort of an affair, So what we're going to look at now, or read this article. So his wife has made an interview with The Sun, watching her husband's killer bragging about his murder on TikTok. Jennifer Crocker felt sick with horror. In the shameless video, Winter Swan Miller boasts, I can't call her that name. I want to call her something else. What a ridiculous name, Winter Swan Miller. You know, I'm going to call her, but she reminds me a bit of Britney Spears. And I don't mean, you know, because she's got a similar look to her, but that being an insult to Britney. So I'm not going to call her Britney. What can I call her? I can't call her Winter Swan Miller. Just ridiculous. After viciously stabbing 62-year-old psycho, I think I'm going to call her, after viciously stabbing 62-year-old Stuart Crocker to death. So this was part one. As I say, the police have not released any other, there were other videos, but that's the only one they've released. I don't know if she took a video of the body. I don't know any more than that. That's all that's been released. This is Stuart. He was stabbed 27 times. And this is his wife. Now, I think they were still together. So she knifed Stuart 27 times and then strangled him with her handbag strap at his flat in Andover, Hampshire. Now, you know, did she what's the word I'm looking for? Discapacitate him first, and that's how she could strangle him. Because surely if he's an ex-army guy, he might be 62, but it's not that old, is it? You know, I'm sure he could have overpowered her, but it seems like she discapacitated. I feel like I'm going to say decapitated, and I don't mean to say that. You know what I mean? That she made him so that he couldn't fight back first by stabbing him, then strangled him. But in a shocking detail of the case, she then brazenly boasted to TikTok followers and asked them to write to her in jail. So, yeah, as we've just seen, she said, I'm going to be taking a break from TikTok for a bit. I think because I've been a bad girl. If you want to write to me, I'll happily write back. And Jennifer, Stuart's wife, said, when I saw the video, I wanted to kill her. I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I watched it. Someone sent the video to my son just days after the killing. I was disgusted. I thought she was so sick and depraved. As soon as I saw it, it was an open and shut case for me. So apparently she killed him to get revenge after he let her therapy dog, Oblivion, escape his flat before it was stolen. Jurors at her 12-week trial heard. So the 37-year-old's case made national headlines earlier this year, with gruesome details from the trial shocking the nation. These included how she became sex aroused while sitting next to Stuart's body after the killing. Oh, this is that other weirdo killer, isn't it? The one that kept her parents in the house. So it's all the dog's fault. Poor dog. I hope the dog's okay. I hope it's got a new home now and it's being looked after properly. Yeah. So this, I mean, you know, we can see from the photo on the her what's the word I'm looking for? We can see from her mugshot picture, that's what she really looked like. You know, she was good at making herself look good. You can make yourself look good on social media. We always want to look relatively good, don't we? You don't want to look like a right state, at least, do you? You know, but, you know, you can see she didn't really look like that. Where am I? Carry on with this. So after killing, so listen to this. So after killing him, she went on the run to Birmingham and she was arrested through police tracing a withdrawal from his card. I'm presuming she had the dog with her. I don't know. Anyway, Stuart was not discovered for 5 days until a neighbour raised the alarm. Police found him lying under a blanket with the TV still on and a fan pointed at him to keep his body cool. The court heard he was also surrounded by notes with sick confessions to a heinous crime. One read, "Take my effing dog, you whore. This is why I've done this. Ha ha." Another said, "How does his death feel? Ha ha. You thought I would let you get away with taking me for an effing mug, taking my dog. Are you real?" So apparently so Jennifer, this guy's wife, and Stuart had separated in 2006 due to his struggles with alcoholism. So that explains probably how he got together with, how he got together with Psycho, because they seem to have some, addiction in common. However, the pair never divorced and they remained friends. Jennifer still cooked meals for him, took him to the doctors, and stopped outside his house for regular chats. However, that all changed when she found out about his new relationship with Swan Miller. Jennifer said, "The first time I saw her, she was with Stuart outside the big Tesco in Andover. She was blonde, slim and young, and that's all Stuart would have seen, not the person inside. But she was just after his money." Yes, unfortunately, sometimes men and women, they don't realise that people are not, if a young person, a young woman or a young man is interested in you, they're probably interested in you for your money if you've got any. I would love a toy boy, but I just can't afford one. That's the problem. But, sometimes people don't see that, do they? They think, did he really think that she cared about him? She was just interested in what she could get off him, wasn't she? He looked scared when I saw him. I knew as soon as I saw her, I couldn't approach him anymore. There was just something about her. She had that look of someone who'd been dabbling in drugs for a long time. I mean, come on. This woman, she's not even 40 years old. She's not even 40 years old. Honestly, I swear, drugs, especially hard drugs or a lot of alcohol or whatever, this is what it does to you. It's like, yeah, she looked okay when she was all done up and she was on her filter and everything. She's not even 40. She's in the prime of her life. And this is, and I don't like these tattoos everywhere either. I know they're popular at the moment. It's fashion, but tattoos on the face and the neck and everything, for me, just, I don't understand why people want to do that to themselves. It's almost like mutilation almost, isn't it? But it's fashion, who am I to judge? I'm not judging, I'm just saying, but you do. And it's not only young people who go for this, older people go for it as well. People of my age even have these tattoos done, collar tattoos, facial tattoos. And you know what? Yeah, each to their own, but does it really look nice? Does it? Does it look nice? Is it just me? Honestly, sometimes I think I'm just living in, hi, Misty. Hi, darling. Yeah, she is definitely, she's not only drunk, she's more than drunk. Probably a combination of alcohol and drugs. So David's talking about play Misty for me, and then Misty pops up in the chat. Yeah, it doesn't mean you, Misty, but yeah, it is a little bit like, but it's no, because Misty in Play Misty for Me, she was a stalker, wasn't she? That was a radio DJ. It was Clint Eastwood, wasn't it? It was Clint Eastwood in that film. And she was, I can't remember who the actress was who played Misty, but she would ring up the DJ and say, play Misty for me. And then, that, but no, I don't, she looks like you would imagine that character might have looked like. But she wasn't a stalker. I mean, she'd got involved with him maybe through, how did they meet? They might have met in the pub. They might have met over social media. Who knows? But, you know, she was after his money. He was, flattered probably by a young girl like that. And she does, you know, probably when she's all done up and everything, she looks good. Oh, yeah, that's right, Moonbeam. Yeah, I did see that, actually. They have that dog now that was called Oblivion, has got a new home, and it's now called Fluffy. So I hope they've let its hair grow as it should grow now, because Pomeranians have that lovely long hair, don't they? So hopefully, hopefully Fluffy, previously Oblivion, is being looked after now and has been allowed to grow his normal coat. Anyway, let's carry on. So this is the flat. What's that? Oh, the carpet where he bled to death was removed by police. You can always rely on the mainstream media to give all the gory details. So it looks like he was killed here in the just in his living room. There's the police outside the flat with the tents. So just a few weeks later, Jennifer received a call from her neighbour telling her that 2 policewomen were looking to speak to her. I was out with my daughter enjoying a Mother's Day meal at the pub when I got the call, Jennifer said. As soon as my neighbour said there were 2 policewomen waiting for me, I knew it meant someone had died. My daughter quickly confirmed my dad was fine. So I knew it was going to be Stuart. When we came home, the police told us that a body had been found and they were looking for someone who'd suddenly disappeared. So Psycho had fled the scene to Birmingham, although she was arrested a few days later after getting another lover, to withdraw £249 with Stuart's card. In a cruel twist of fate, Jennifer has been hounded for the cash that Psycho stole from Stuart's account ever since his death. Jennifer has received several letters from Equiniti, the firm that manages army pensions on behalf of the government, demanding she repay the cash taken from Stuart's account. The widow explained. Psycho took Stuart's bank card after killing him, as she knew he was going to be paid his army pension a couple of days later. She took the cash from his account when she was on the run, and now Equiniti wants me to repay that amount. Oh, there he is when he was in the army. So, you know, this is a man who went out and defended us, or defended Britain. I'm not in Britain now, but I was then. When he was in the army, he was a person who went out there, fought for his country, and it's very sad, isn't it, when they end up like that, you know. So they said if I don't pay it back, they could deduct it from my benefits. I'm on personal independence payment and universal credit. You might think it's only £250. No, £250 is a massive amount of money, but that's a lot of money to me. I think that's a lot of money to most people. And Stuart left nothing behind. It makes me feel angry that Equiniti is chasing me for this money just because I was down as Stuart's next of kin. Well, surely they're going to sort that out, aren't they? Surely they will realise that it was Psycho who took the money. I'd understand it if he died of natural causes, but he was murdered and the money was forcibly taken from him. Why should I have to pay that back? I've told them he was murdered, but they're still chasing me, and it's just added to the stress of dealing with everything. Oh, at least it sounds like the Sun have challenged them. So it was only after the Sun challenged Equiniti and the MOD over these letters that the MOD informed Jennifer she would no longer have to repay the cash. Well, good, and well done, the Sun, for once. A spokesman for the MOD told this newspaper, "We have written to Mrs. Crocker to confirm that the overpayment recovery action will not take place." The problem is often you're just dealing with bureaucracy, aren't you? You're dealing with automatic things. They don't take in probably, extenuating circumstances and individual cases. As far as they're concerned, the guy died on his death certificate it'll be a certain date. They're just looking at that and think, oh, hang on, we paid him pension after that. His wife must have taken it because she's still married to him. Anyway, so sometimes it just needs to go into deeper, isn't it? But sometimes people don't know how to take things further. To take things further with the Ministry of Defence or anyone official, sometimes it's just a question of people just don't know how to do it. They don't know how to take those steps. It's difficult dealing with authorities, isn't it? So I'm glad that the son was, if this is true, which I presume it is, I'm glad that they took those steps and now this woman doesn't have to deal with it anymore. So she reminds me, for those of you who watch me on a regular basis, I was talking about a student I had who was an alcoholic. And when he died of hepatitis, when he was in hospital on his deathbed, his ex-wife, they were still married. She came over from the UK to care for him because although they had split up, this sounds like a similar situation. They had split up for the same reasons. It was his, because he became an alcoholic. It's not that she didn't love him anymore or she didn't want to be with him. She just couldn't be with him because he'd become an alcoholic. And it seems like this is seems like they still had a good relationship. She still cared about him. She was still looking after him. And then, so they never divorced. Anyway, we apologise to Mrs. Crocker for any distress that she's experienced as a result of this situation. We are investigating the circumstances and we will review our procedures and make any appropriate changes. So, tragic last gift. Jennifer also had to deal with a second blunder when she visited Stuart's flat to clear out his things after his murder. She and her son Joseph, who she had with Stuart, were shocked to discover there was still blood in the flat. And Jennifer told this newspaper police paid a specialist company to clean up Stuart's flat, but they didn't do it properly. And I'll tell you what, those specialist companies, they earn a fortune. Many years ago, I took someone to Alicante for an NIE number, which is like somebody who was buying a property here. And that's what they did. That was they had a company that cleared up after red rums and self-deletions, and they said it was a horrible job. So you can imagine it is a horrible job, but the wages, if you had they earn, really good money because nobody wants to do that. Who wants to go in and clear up after a self-deletion or a murder or whatever? And it's not only the actual biological clear up. Quite often, if it's been a self-deletion, the place that they live in, is disgusting, and they have to clear it up as they would work for the council, because they would have to gut these flats and get everything out, and so it was ready to be redecorated and ready for another tenant to move in. But it's very good money. So it's a shame that they didn't do it properly. So she said, I was sickened by the state of the property when I went inside. We saw things no one should have to see. There was blood on the carpet, blood on the counters, blood in the washing machine, which Psycho used to wash the clothes she killed Stuart in. There were flies and maggots all over the place. And if I'm in a room now where there's a fly, I can't eat. It will never leave me. Oh my God, that poor woman. Poor woman. Gosh. The company that did the cleanup should be fined or fired. It could have tipped me over the edge if I was suicidal. Yeah. Hampshire Police has been approached for comment but did not respond before our deadline. While clearing out the flat, the family were heartbroken to find a bag of toys that Stuart had bought for his 3-year-old granddaughter, Dahlia Mai. Jennifer said he'd bought some little cars and trains for his granddaughter and left them in a bag in his drawer. It really hurt when we found them. Stuart was a kind person. He was the father of my son and I still loved him. I always thought there was a chance that we would end up back together one day. But Psycho took that chance away. And now there's just an empty hole in me that will never be filled. I miss him every day. So it's a sad story, isn't it? But, God, dear me, dear me. I mean, if you ever see a psycho looking at you, there's one, isn't it? Look at her. Now, she'd be loving it in prison. Now, I don't know what, she'll be loving it because you'll get attention. I bet she's in a relationship with somebody already. Let's see what her actual sentence was. Let's see. Where are we now? Let's have a look. Andover. If I go to the Andover Advertiser, that was the trial. What was the sentence? So when was this? So this was, so the trial took place last May. I can't believe I never saw this. Why was this not in the news so much? I honestly believe it's not in the news so much because it's a blonde white woman killing a man. It just doesn't attract the same media attention, does it? The mainstream media attention. Because I follow the news. How could how could I not have seen this story? Let's just see if I can find it. I can't find the bloody sentence anywhere. Uh, 23 years. Let's have a look. Okay, so according to the Andover Advertiser, she was jailed for a minimum sentence. Of course, we have to remember that's a minimum. That's quite a good sentence, I suppose. I don't know though. Is it? I can't decide. These life sentences, 23 years. She's 37, so she'll only be 60. I mean, I know to anyone who's younger, perhaps 60 doesn't seem that. 37, 40, 60, yeah. When she's got a chance of coming out, I think she'll be let out because I think what she will do is in this time that she's in prison, she will find God or blame it all on her family or her upbringing or whatever. Come off drugs, maybe, I don't know. Maybe she genuinely will be rehabilitated. But so she was sentenced on Tuesday, August the 6th, to a minimum of 23 years. These sentences are just too short, aren't they? 21 years and 331 days. And the judge said, despite the problems you had in your formative years, you held long-term jobs and relationships. I'm not persuaded that the personality disorder has any meaningful impact on you and the actions on June the 23rd. It appears to me the use of a Class A drug had an impact on the psychological condition, and you were prepared to do or say anything to get what you wanted. Yeah. So he said, somehow you fixated on the fact that Mr. Crocker helped in the abduction of your dog Oblivion, and whether that is correct or not matters not. You thought he was responsible for the temporary loss of your dog. So it says you administered 27 separate STAB wounds. You were heavily intoxicated with drugs. You had fixation on Mr. Crocker, and he was defenseless. You concealed your actions by covering his body to avoid decomposition. You got rid of the knife, knowing it would never be found. You bragged about killing him. You made derogatory remarks long before his body was found. You left notes at the scene and used his debit card to purchase more drugs. And despite the heavy drug use, so she might have been drugged up, but she wasn't drugged up enough, too drugged up that she couldn't clean up the scene, organise travel, and leave your mobile phone up behind so you couldn't be tracked. So, yeah. Anyway, so the judge felt there was no SEX exploitation from Mr. Crocker in the in the situation. He wasn't exploiting her. I think it was just a joint exploitation, wasn't it? She was exploiting him for money, and he was exploiting her, I suppose, in a way for sex. But she's a grown adult, she's 37 years old. She decides who she has sex with. Can't, he wasn't raping in her, was he? Yeah, the sentence was 23 years, Laurie. Ooh. So there you go. That is the story, the very sad story of Psycho. I'm going to call her Psycho from now on. Because I think quite often, too much attention is given to the perpetrators' names. I obviously have to give the perpetrator's name in the beginning when I'm telling the story. But, at the end of the day, what's more important is that we remember the victim, isn't it? And I'd like to know why Stuart's case, Stuart Maxwell Crocker, why was his case not given as much attention? And I do feel it's for that, because the woman that did it, she was, not an immigrant, or not like there's, it's like the mainstream media only focuses in on certain cases. That doesn't mean to say there's not lots of sort of different cases going on all the time, but the mainstream media did not focus in enough on this guy's case that someone like me who follows true crime, follows the news, I didn't even see this in the news. But anyway, there you go. Just always sort of surprises me. Yeah, thank goodness for the sun. You wouldn't think you'd be grateful for something the sun did it? Would you? But anyway, there you go. At least they reported on it, didn't they? Okay, so I'm going to light a candle, actually. Yeah. Light a candle for this video. I'm a bit upset, really, that that I never, because I know it's sort of maybe macabre, some people think, but I have an interest in true crime, but I genuinely am interested in the victims. And the thing is, if people don't talk about the victims and what happened to them, it's like their lives didn't matter, isn't it? So Stuart's life did matter, and he should be talked about just the same as any other victim. So here's a candle for Stuart and for his family, of course. His son, at the end of the day, he's got a son, he's got a grandchild, and it seems like his wife still cared about him, but just for what issues he had with alcoholism, that they split up. So, very, very sad. And, just because Stuart was a middle-aged man, you get this sort of, it's almost like, do they, if a middle-aged man is murdered like that by a psycho blonde woman, are they not deserving of just the same attention as any victim? But yes, she did. We watched that, Moonbeam. We watched her Instagram post about Tommy. Maybe you mustn't have come in yet then. Maybe you missed that on there. But yeah, she loved Tommy Robinson. Just says it all as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's not a good look for Tommy, is it? But there you go. That's a typical person. I know a lot of people support Tommy Robinson. I don't want to include everyone under the same umbrella. But to me, she's a typical person that would support Tommy Robinson. And the hate, you know, it's not about what he believes or what he stands for. To me, anyone who spreads hate in any way, shape or form, whether it's hate against Muslims, or it's hate against Jews, or whether it's hate against Catholics, or it's hate against women, hate against trans, hate against gays, anyone who spreads hate, which Tommy Robinson, I'm sorry, he does spread hate. Maybe I think it's, you know, that is deliberately what he does. He's there. Sometimes I think Tommy Robinson is just a pawn there to spread division in society. And I'm not interested in anybody who does that sort of thing. You know, we're all human beings. There's good and bad in everybody, in all walks of life, in all religions. There's good, there's bad. And so anyone who tries to set one faction against another, for me, will always be not good. So anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go. I may see you later. I will definitely see my members tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we'll be talking about Nicola Bulley, and I'll be going through all the, as I say, thousands, I think, probably, of photos, screenshots, things that I took around the time of it all going on with the Nicola Bulley case. And I'm going to look back over them and see if any of them were they relevant, really. You know, at the time there was like this mass hysteria about Nicola Bulley and the Nicola Bulley case, but it'd be interesting to look back over them and see were any of them, what was rubbish and what was true, etc. And that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So yeah, play Misty for me. Misty's saying, David, play Misty for me. Okay, thank you so much. And yeah, for Stuart, candle for Stuart, bless him. So who knows how he felt at the time, because it seems to me that, I haven't finished yet, because there was DNA found on Stuart, which showed that probably shortly before she murdered him, they probably had relations, if you know what I mean, because of the DNA that was found. So yeah, she probably lured him into this sort of, let's get it on and whatever. And that, so she's like this praying mantis type scenario, isn't it? And I just hope he didn't know anything or didn't know much. Maybe he was intoxicated, maybe he was asleep. I hope for his sake he was. But otherwise, the terror that he must have felt to be decapitated by this woman and then just be helpless to do anything. Okay, thank you. Take care. And as always, let your God go with you. Thank you so much. Bye.